My son squeezed my hand as we walked into the pastry studio. He was 7, barely reaching my chest, wearing the apron I'd bought him, blue with little whisk marks. The instructor at the front desk smiled, but I felt the temperature shift when the other parents arrived. 3 women, all in their 40s, eyeing us like we didn't belong. "Today we're making French macarons," the instructor announced. "Advanced technique, not for beginners." My son's face fell. I kneeled down, whispered, "We've got this." He nodded, jaw tight with determination. That's what he'd always been, determined. The class started. The other parents moved with precision, confident hands folding egg whites. My son concentrated so hard his tongue poked out slightly. I stood beside him, guiding without taking over. One of the women, designer glasses, perfect blowout, leaned toward another, loud enough to hear. "Is he seriously bringing his little boy to this? This is ridiculous." Another laughed. "What's the point? They'll just ruin it." My hands tightened, but I said nothing. I never say anything. My son glanced up, caught the tone even if he missed the words. His shoulders curved inward. I squeezed his shoulder. "Keep going, buddy." 20 minutes passed. My son's tray looked uneven, lumpy, honestly, amateur. The woman with glasses walked past us on her way to rinse her hands. "You know there are t-ball leagues for bonding with kids, right? Not whatever this is." Her friend laughed again. That particular cruel laugh that women sometimes use when they've decided you're ridiculous. "Probably trying to raise him to be something he's not," the second woman added, shaking her head. My chest tightened. I wanted to say something. I wanted to explain, but my son was watching me, reading my reaction like he always does, and I kept my face neutral, calm, safe. "What's the matter?" Glasses woman said directly to me now. "Can't find real activities? Or are you one of those fathers trying to make your kid into something he's not? He wants to learn to bake," I said quietly. "Boys don't want to bake. Men don't teach them to bake. That's not normal." The instructor stayed focused on the demonstration, pretending not to hear. The third woman actually turned away. My son stirred the almond flour. His hand shook slightly. "It's weird," Glasses woman continued. "Honestly, it's kind of sad. You're robbing him of a normal childhood." Something in my throat locked up. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her by the shoulders and shake her until she understood. But instead, I just put my arm around my son and kept watching him work. He made a small sound, not quite a sob, just a little noise of hurt. The woman saw it, and instead of stopping, she smiled. "Oh, look, he knows it's wrong too, poor kid." That's when I lost it. Not in anger, in tears. My hand came up to my face and I couldn't stop it. My whole body was shaking and I was crying in front of a room full of strangers, while my 7-year-old looked up at me in alarm. The room went quiet. "Last year," I said, my voice breaking across the words, "my son was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia." The woman's face went very still. "For 18 months, he had chemotherapy, 4 days a week. He lost his hair. He lost 40 pounds. He missed his entire kindergarten year in a hospital." My son reached for my hand. One day, in his hospital bed, connected to machines, he told me he wanted to learn to make fancy desserts, French pastries, all the beautiful things he couldn't eat because the treatment destroyed his appetite. I looked at the woman directly. 3 weeks ago, he finished his last treatment. He's in remission, and he made me a promise. When he was well enough, we were coming here, together, to do exactly this. The woman's mouth had gone white. "He's well enough now," I continued. "These macarons aren't perfect because he's still learning, because his coordination is still coming back, because some days his hands still shake from the medication." My son looked down at his lumpy cookies. "But they're perfect to me because he made them, and he's alive to make them." The instructor walked over quietly. She looked at the woman with glasses. "I think you should leave." The woman gathered her things without a word. The other two wouldn't look at us. My son tugged my sleeve. "Daddy," I kneeled down. His eyes were wet. "Your macarons are beautiful," he whispered. I held him against my chest, right there in that studio, and we both cried while our imperfect pastries sat golden on the tray.